Hi guys, how's it going? We are back again and we have a few things to do today. We've decided that the 282 brakes which I bought from Tyrone, we are going to actually put those on the hatch on the ECK20. So they're going to be refurbished today, sprayed up, and we'll probably leave them probably until next weekend. We'll actually get to put them on, I guess. What they like to do around here, I don't know if they do it around your way as well, is they put some tar on the road and then they just put all these loose stones on it. And then because they've done this...
It's not even smooth though, that's the thing.
It's
exactly
shit.
how it was before, just with some dust on the top.
They don't get rid of any of the potholes, they just add 10 mil to the entire road surface. Give them a toot.
Hey mate, I don't like this camera malarkey.
Why?
It just feels weird, I don't like it. I feel like the pressure.
Hey mate!
Hey mate!
Give us a laugh.
No. To the place of dreams. Oh, video. Friends. What are we doing today, Rob?
So today, we're taking these 282 calipers that Dan bought off Tyrone, and we're going to be refurbing them to put on the EF. So originally they were for Dan's coupe, but now we've decided that we're going to use them for the EF so we can get on track even quicker with that. And we've also ordered 4 AD08Rs for the EF as well. So once we've got these brake calipers on, or refurbed and on, then we'll be able to book some track days. So yeah, Tom's filming for us, so thanks Tom. And yeah, we're going to crack on and get them all stripped down, get the pads out and everything like that. It looks like Tyrone's done a really great job of painting these blue.
I don't know how to do it, but I'm sure Tom or Rob will. I don't think I can.
So yeah, we're going to strip them down and then get to it.
Can't wait to see the AD80Rs. Gotta stay hydrated in the sun. Rookie error that. That wouldn't have happened to me. What is this, like a baby man?
Baby change. No, it's got plastic on the bottom, so it doesn't actually go through it, but it's absorbent there, so it doesn't like run.
So they can wet the bed.
Yeah.
And it won't ruin the mattress. Tyrone, you let us down, mate.
We only took him off the car for us, wasn't it?
Dan's getting his bondage gloves ready. You're going to have a continuity nightmare with this music. I feel like I'm a plank with this camera, I'm not going to lie.
You're a plank anyway, you might as well have a camera.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Where's the Civic?
That Rob's sat in the road.
Coop's here though. Looking pretty.
Pretty shit. Power tool time.
Free Jap Fest t-shirt.
You get that from Mims?
No.
Honda's in South. Gonna try some artsy filming for the day. Oh yeah. Angles. 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 Vertical vids. Come on, Dan. Where's your safety goggles?
When I was doing that before, you just get those wires just come off and like stick in your stomach and stuff.
Oh yeah, after a while it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's my key to go home.
No, it doesn't. It just like stabs you in your leg, and you're like, fuck, you have to pull a wire out your trousers. You've literally recorded fucking everything, haven't you?
That's what Rob told me to do.
With the angle grinder, you can't really get in all the nooks and crannies, so I don't think there's any point getting the drill out. I'm just going to get some sandpaper and see what happens.
Nice 2-finger action.
So we don't know exactly what Tom has been recording, but I assume that's going to be quite interesting going through it. Probably be some pointless stuff. I think he recorded more of the dogs than he did us, but there we are. So where we got to now, we've cleaned up all the calipers and carriers. So this is the best one. So as you can see, this is pretty clean now. So what we like to do is sort of pay special attention to this face here, and then again on the carrier where the visible parts are. So as long as this is all clean and the paint's going to stick to it, then we're happy with those. So they look pretty good at the moment. This one's still got a bit of blue on these inner faces here, but I don't think that's a problem. I mean, you're never going to see that, and not only that, it's only just about to get completely covered in brake dust. But again, we sort of paid quite a lot of attention to this face, where you can see it through the wheel. And on the carriers, obviously this is the face which you can see, so try to get that as clean as possible. And then the most important bit on these is in these grooves and along this here, where the sort of the brake pad retaining clips go. So we've spent quite a lot of time using them. So we sort of start off with an angle grinder with this wire wheel bit, which is pretty good for getting the worst of it off. It does rough it up quite a lot, and then we'll move on to the drill. And this drill bit here is pretty good, followed by this one here, which fits into those grooves in that carrier really well. These for a set of 3, so you get one of these ones, one of those ones, and then one which is a bit smaller than that one. I think it's £3.99 from Screwfix, and we must have spent about £100 on those during the course of building this Civic. We have used so many of them, but they actually last quite well. They're really good for getting in all these sort of bits and pieces and cleaning stuff up. So this is after now Rob's just put some white spirit on these just to get all that dust off. So some of these, one of the sides is a little bit worse than the other. It's clearly a bit older, but we're just going to put some tape on that anyway. But yeah, so we'll cut to spraying. With all of your sort of sealing surfaces taped up, so you don't want any paint on them.
Probably should have done them bolt holes as well, but I won't.
These holes, wherever you put your bleed nipples, we just stuff some masking tape in there, and then you're ready to paint.
We're going to start with some primer under the hammerite, because before they went rusty really quickly. I don't know if this... My timer's done, and that means our first coat of primer is done. So as you can probably see, we've also just left the piston with the dust boot in there, and don't pay too much attention to that, because obviously we're going to be rebuilding them with new seals and new pistons as well, which are up here. So all the new bits and pieces are in here. I assume this is the part number, so if you've got MG, ZR or ZS calipers, then the part number is 205733 for a rebuild kit from Big Red. I got them off eBay if anyone's interested. Yeah, I'm going to flip these over and give them another coat.
What? An ice cream van? Where's my wallet? Where's my wallet? Anybody want to buy an ice cream? Here's what the calipers look like at the moment.
They're done, apart from not being rebuilt.
So yeah, they look pretty good. Obviously when you're spraying them, you wouldn't spray the rubber boot, but because we've got the rebuild kits, that's a good way just to make sure you get no paint inside the caliper bit where you don't want it. So we'll take that boot off and then we'll put the new one on tomorrow. So we will catch up with you tomorrow. Well, it'll be the same episode, but we are going to be back tomorrow to reassemble these with the new rebuild kits, and we will show you through that at the same time.
Right guys, we're back. It's another day. It's not quite the day after the last time we were doing this, but it's given the calipers a good time to dry. We're just going to clear all of this off this workbench slash, I don't know what this thing is. Then we can start to take these calipers out of here. So they're all painted now. and yeah, we'll talk you through the steps of how to kinda unprofessionally rebuild your calipers. Right, so here we have everything that comes in the caliper rebuild kit. We've got 2 pistons, 2 dust boots, 2 piston seals, 4 slider dust seals for the carriers, and then we've also got these strange little things that go on the sliders, and I assume these are little blanks for the end of the bleed nipple. I don't really know, but that seems like the only logical thing that they can do. So yeah, that's everything. Here are the calipers all re-sprayed and looking fresh. So now what we've got to do is pop this piston out of here. Right, so we managed to get the piston and the dust boot out of this one using a bit of a dodgy method. I mean, I probably wouldn't advise it, but what we've done is we've hooked up this track pump to the bleed nipple on the caliper, and then by sticking your thumb over this hole, oh, it's come off. By sticking your thumb over this hole and then pumping air into the bleed nipple, the piston then pops out the bottom. So don't, whatever you do, put your fingers in this space here. Well, I was just holding it with my thumb over the top and my other finger under this side mounting bracket, and then it just popped out. So yeah, it's a bit of a sketchy method, and if you had your fingers in there it'd probably take them off. So I wouldn't advise it, but we're going to try and do this one the same. No, but fuck me. Right, so I've switched to head mount because we've managed to get this one all done. So that's complete. Both seals are in and the piston's now in as well. So the biggest challenge you'll face is trying to get this piston in past the dust seal. So because they are so tight, because this hole here is much smaller than the diameter of the piston, it's quite hard to slip it in, as Dan's demonstrating now. So again, using this trusty track pump, we've come up with another method of blowing the boot out, or inflating the boot almost like a balloon, in order to make the diameter bigger than the piston itself, and then it will slip in. So we're going to try that again with this one and hope that it works again. So pop that down and try again, I guess. Right, so I'm going to take this pump and pop it on here. You push down on it.
Is it greasy now?
Right, I'll hold that in there. Then to prevent the air popping out, have you greased up that?
Yeah.
So to prevent the air coming out, I'm going to put my thumb over here, and then
you need to look right in there.
Do some pumping, and yeah.
So exactly what the problem is when you push this in, because this is recessed in here, the O-ring which you're trying to, you got to try and expand the O-ring over that, and then it'll sink back into this recess here. So when you do try and put this on, you end up trying to just shove it down inside the piston, which is obviously a tight seal. So what I'm doing is trying to get the bottom on slightly, so I'm putting it in at a slight angle and then pushing it tight.
Is that in?
Yep, that's it. So we spent an hour and a half since on today just reassembling, which isn't too bad, and this is the final outcome. So there's a bit dirty in there where we've been cleaning up, and obviously some of the brake cleaner and stuff underneath there, but generally
This is the better one.
well, this is the better one. So this was the slightly newer, and it's just the slightly newer one anyway. and that's come out pretty well. It is a relatively easy thing which you can do yourself with some basic tools, but I think most people get a bit...
And a pump.
And a pump.
Easy enough job though, isn't it? Like, if you've got a pair of tweezers, which you don't really need.
If you've got Laura's tweezers.
You've got that, some grease, an 11mm spanner, a flathead screwdriver, and a pump, then you can do it yourself.
Do make sure if you do it that you get specific sort of brake caliper, or at least high temperature grease, because your brakes get very fucking hot. And especially in those sliders, these sliders here are renowned for seizing up inside, and you can just boil the grease inside there. So make sure you get proper grease. It does come with a little packet of it, but I had some and there's more of it, and we were a bit keen with the grease.
This was one of the old pistons, which as you can see is pretty much brand new, so I think we can keep that as a spare. But comparing it to the slightly older one, you can see what happens when you get water in there past the dust boot. So yeah, definitely worthwhile to rebuild them both, I think, and relatively cheap. I think the rebuild kit was only 25-30 quid, and then you've got well, do you want to tell them about the sliders?
The sliders, not the sliders, the brake retaining springs. So I mean, you can buy all these parts. Generally you can reuse these. If you're just doing your brake caliper, your brake pads, then you can just reuse them. Now if you can see in there, we've actually got one which is cracked right in the centre there. You can see it on the back as well. So basically once those get hot, it basically does nothing for the brake pads, it does nothing for your calipers, because the pads themselves actually expand and they hold them in. That's only while they're cold. They just provide a little bit of a spring just to hold your pads in place. So they are only a few quid as far as we were. We were going to clean them up just as a bit of an experiment to see if you could clean them up easily with Coke or vinegar or something similar. But it hasn't really worked. We've got a broken one, so I think we're going to spend a few quid. We will tell you how much they are, and I suppose we can do links for all the parts and whatever else in the description. There are more available, so you can actually get new sliders, which don't come generally in the rebuild kit, but they're normally available from the same place where you would buy your rebuild kit from. Obviously you can get new bleed nipples. Now neither of ours needed to be replaced, so we didn't, and we're just going to put these pads in for the moment, I think, by the looks of things.
I'm just going to clean them up, just because. I just realised while editing the video that I never closed it out, so I just want to say a massive thanks for you guys who are subscribed. We're now up near 900 subscribers, which is mad for a couple of guys who are effectively building a car in a shed. And yeah, I just want to say, if you've enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And yeah, stay tuned for some more videos. See you soon.